Omina ngikhumbula umama
wangizalayo,
umama wangibeletha,
umama wangibeletha.
Omina ngikhumbula
umama wangizalayo,
umama wangibeletha,
umama wangibeletha.
As we go out of the graveyard, one of my mom's closest friends, I didn't see her throughout the week, comes to me. She didn't say anything. That was the longest hug I've ever had, and it felt like that was the closest, and that was just one of the closest, can I say closest hugs that I could have had to what my mom could have given me. I don't know, some way that hug comforted me. And then as she starts talking now, when she starts talking in my ear, I feel like, okay, you ruined the moment. The silence was fine with the hug. She starts crying, and I'm thinking, when you crying like this, how am I supposed to feel? You lost a friend, you're gonna move on. I'm gonna live the rest of my life without my mom. I don't know if I was being selfish or what was up with me, but okay, fine. When we got home, everyone wanted to talk to me, and I felt like I just wanted to be with my friends. When they called me, come help us with this, I just didn't want to do it. And then I would just sit with my friends. For me, it was like living again, forgetting what had just happened. And I don't want that moment with my friends to end, because then I was running away from reality. Because that's when they told me the saddest part about losing someone is when everyone is gone. Now you see that person is no longer there. Fine, everyone left. I'm home. The following day, they had to cut my hair. It wasn't the painful thing, cutting my hair. The painful thing was, I knew my mom wanted me to take care of my hair, because before she got sick, Betty, she wanted me to grow my hair, and now she passed away, they're cutting my hair. Okay, I don't mind cutting my hair, but my mom didn't want me to cut my hair. And I still did it anyway. So every time that lady would cut me with the razor, every time she'd hurt me with the razor, it would remind me why I'm cutting my hair. Now it started kicking in that my mom is not there anymore. And after cutting my hair, I wanted to leave. I got home, I think I stayed there for a week, and then I left. I went to the apartment in town. When I got back, I was numb, so I felt, you know what, I'm going to do everything I was afraid to do. I'm going to do everything that's going to make me feel better. I'm going to be selfish about my feelings. I'm going to just be looking out for me. I feel like I've went through the worst experience, my worst fear, so I'm not afraid of anything. When I got to that apartment, I misbehaved, had my friends over, was drunk most of the time, didn't even have money, wasn't working. When they'd send me money for grocery, then I'll drink it. Doing promotions as well. My father, after my mom's passing, what he did was he paid rent once. What my dad used to do was he'd come in my life as he pleases and then leave. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, when things aren't going right for him, he comes in my life. They probably, because we black people, obviously, they could be telling him that things are going bad because he's not taking care of his child. My heart is always broken because of what he's doing, so he needs to take care of me for his things to get better. I don't know, for his things to get better. Yeah, so fine. After the whole situation with my dad stopping to pay rent, I stayed there for 3 months, guys. I stayed there for 3 months not paying rent. And every time I followed up with the caretaker, he'd have a list of people that owe, all the units that owe rent. My name wouldn't appear on that list. My mother's name wouldn't appear on that list. And one time I told myself, every time I'm praying that I pay rent on time. So every time I pray that I pay rent on time, and there's never money for rent. I use money recklessly. I would have money for rent, but because of the way I was living at that time, maybe this is a sign. Second month came up, no rent money. Third month came up, no rent money. I'm like, auntie, I'm coming to stay with you before these people actually throw me out, because if it's gonna go to that extent where they throw me out, Shuguti Vele, they're gonna want their rent money and I don't have it. So fine, guys. I remember December, I was working. I wasn't with my family. I was with my family on Christmas, and then I left the day after Christmas. I went to Jericho. We were working at Jericho at some pub. And New Year's, I wasn't with my family. That hit me. I cried. My first New Year's without my mom, and I'm not with my family. Fine. Then I went back to the flat. A lot of things happened. I lost a lot of friends. I was cutting people off. I had a temper, so I was cutting people off when I was staying at that flat. And then fine, I moved to my aunt's place. On my first birthday without my mom, I was at my aunt's place. I remember I slept on the couch. I covered myself with the blanket the whole time, plus it was raining, it was cold. I had plans, but the night before my birthday, I was like, I ain't doing shit tomorrow. I'm not doing anything. It's my first birthday without my mom. I was crying. I remember my aunt didn't know what to say to me. My cousin was just asking her mom the whole time, Auntie, what's going on with Stacey? She's crying, Mama. We're singing happy birthday to her, but she's crying. What's going on? My aunt started crying as well. And then I think she went to work. When she came back with cake. And then she bought me a gift. I remember not taking a lot of calls. I didn't take most of the calls that I got on my birthday. The messages, I didn't respond to them. Not even the next day. And then my grandmother's birthday was on the 16th. I don't know if I called her or I sent her a message, because I was still in my feelings and I felt like she was also going through the same. So what was I gonna say to her? I was very selfish when it came to my feelings. Fine. So I'm learning to live without my mom. I'm learning to be this person that doesn't ask for a lot. I wanted to do a lot of things, and I felt like it would burden my family because I was asking for a lot. I felt like I was going to be asking for a lot. I should think about them. They have their own families, they have their own kids, they have their own houses, and fine. I remember my aunt enrolled me go UNISA. When I went to UNISA, I'd spend a lot of time there because I'd always be on Wi-Fi and studying, and for me that kept me busy. I didn't think a lot about my mom at that time. I was too focused on school. I was enjoying school. And then I got a temporary job, and that also kind of kept me busy as well. So at work, they would call me every time the receptionist had to go to some function, whenever she wasn't available, they would call me. So I remember with them, I had to start explaining that my mom passed away, because I got that job when my mom was sick. So now I had to start explaining to them my mom passed away. Okay, fine. Now I'm getting my shandies together. Then they stopped calling me at work, and then I have to move in with my grandmother. When I moved in with my grandmother, I got sick. Weird things started happening. I'll have a story time regarding that. But basically, when I got sick, they took me to a healer. When we got to the healer, they told me that I had to twasa. Who's gonna give me money to twasa? That lady tells me if I don't twasa, I'm gonna die. Because I've been sick for too long. The ancestors are angry with me. And it made sense because what was happening to me at that time, no one else could explain it, and there was no way I was going to a doctor because the doctor would give me pain meds and sleeping tablets. That's what happened with my mom. So am I going to go through that route as well? No, I don't even have money to go to the doctor anyway. Well, they would give me, but I just felt like I didn't want to be a burden. Fine. After they told me that I should twasa, I told them I wanted to twasa right away. They got the money. I went to twasa. After twasa, came back this year on the 8th of February. After twasa, I told myself I'm gonna be a normal person. I'm not gonna follow that journey. I'm done with it. So basically how I dealt with my mom's passing was I wouldn't ignore my feelings. If I felt like crying, I'd cry, and I miss her a lot. There's not a day that goes by and I don't think about my mom. There's a lot of things that I want to tell her. Like, we talk about literally almost everything. So I felt like with some things that are happening in life, I feel like calling her up and telling her, Mama, this is what's happening. And I can't tell her because I get a call. Sometimes I also have to remind myself that this person is no longer in the world. It would be better if I knew that my mom was out there. We're just not on speaking terms. She's okay, you know, but she's not here. Okay, so firstly, your mind will play tricks on you, especially when you're grieving. So I told myself, when it comes to my mom's passing, I'm not going to be negative. There were stories. Even when I went to consult with that healer, there were stories. I chose not to listen to them. Fine. Told myself that had my mom not passed away, I wouldn't have matured, or I wouldn't have grown up. I wouldn't have accepted being an adult, you know. I wouldn't have done a lot of things for myself because my mom was there. And my mom was one person, if she tells you to do something and you don't do it, she does it for you. And she'd always say, when I'm not here, you're gonna miss me. You're gonna remember me when I'm gone. So I told myself there's a reason why my mom passed away. I had to grow up. I had to be my own person. I had to live by myself. Again, my mom's passing helped me let go a lot of people that were dragging me down, a lot of people that were bringing me down, a lot of people that were breaking me. Without that, I wouldn't have had the courage to do that. But with my mom's passing, I learned that it taught me to be fearless. There was a lot of things that I was insecure about, and a lot of things I wouldn't have done if she was still alive to date. I'm not saying I'm happy about her passing, but I'm trying to rewire my brain to kind of look at things in a positive way, regardless of what happened. Because if I had to look at things in a negative way, shame, my mom passed away, shame, I don't have a mother, no one loves me like my mom did, and stuff like that, I would have been in the pits. I'm sure I would have went to a mental institution, because clearly there's a lot of things that I don't remember from the funeral. So I was losing my mind. That's what trauma does to you. So if I had to let trauma take over my life, then I wouldn't have survived what happened. So instead, I'm taking my experience and letting it grow me. And guys, it's painful. It's the worst pain, but it helps, because now when somebody does something nice to me and they think, oh, they breaking this one, boo, I went through their worst pain. And prayer helps. I don't know if I'm numb or because that was the worst pain I could have ever go through. I feel like everything that comes afterwards is nothing. It doesn't hit the same. So for as long as it doesn't hit the same, it's nothing. It doesn't affect me as much. And I remember after my mom's passing, we did have relatives that passed on as well. But when they told me that this person is no more, it didn't hit me the way it used to hit before. When my mom was alive and people passed on, it would hit. But now, because I lost the one person that I loved with my whole heart, and the one person that loved me with my whole heart, the one person I still love to date, I feel like, why are you telling me about other people? How are they important? How am I supposed to feel about their passing? It's sad, sure, but how's their passing going to change my life besides them being absent? So I say that experience should groom you, grow you. That experience should toughen you up. There's going to be a lot of disappointments in life. There's going to be people that are just vicious, don't want to see people happy. They'll do nasty things to you for no reason. It's not your fault. Just look at it in a way, Yagoti, you've went through the worst pain. You've went through the worst pain. What could I possibly feel when somebody wants to leave my life? Let them go. And it should also teach you to love you love unconditionally, because you then have regrets. You didn't do anything wrong, or you did do things wrong. You just have to forgive yourself. You then have a lot of regrets. You start analyzing things that weren't even there. Like, for instance, you start thinking, Uguti, when my mom was in that hospital bed alone, couldn't talk to us, what was she thinking? Was she appreciating the fact that I was in her life, my aunt was in her life? Or was she thinking, oh, finally I'm leaving this world, I'm not going to be having this problematic child in my life anymore? You know, those kind of things are the things that haunt you. But if it's a situation that you can't change, I believe that you can change yourself, not the situation. So if in that situation you were wrong, work on what you did wrong to better yourself. You have to now live fearlessly. Don't be a criminal now. Don't be doing the nastiest stuff either, but go for everything that you wanted to do. What's the worst that could happen? What's the worst pain that you could experience? You've went through the worst. Now take chances in what you believe in what you want to achieve. Take chances. If you experience that pain and you're still loving, and you can still smile, you can still love somebody else, you are incredibly strong. Don't doubt yourself. And the other thing about when you have problems and you're constantly thinking about them and you're constantly talking about those problems, and instead of praying about those problems, you give them power to take over your life, because you're giving it that much attention. You just focused on that. You're not looking for solutions. You're not looking for ways to overcome that situation. Instead, you are too focused looking at how that situation is taking people away, how that situation is taking money away, how that situation is making you feel, how that situation is delaying you in life. You start comparing yourself with other people. You are messing your life with your thoughts, and you find that your life is not even that bad. It's just that one situation. You just have to look at things differently. So dealing with my mom's passing and still dealing with my mom's situation, I look at it in the sense that every time that pain comes back. What am I supposed to change? With that situation, it also reminded me how strong I am. And because not only that time when I lost my mom, I also felt like I lost my dad, because that was a chance for him to step up and he didn't. So I had to learn to accept people that don't want me in their lives, and also accept the fact that there's nothing wrong with me. It's all on him, to not take everything when things go wrong, take everything and take all the blame. It's not all on me. Sometimes I needed, like, I think I needed that situation to remind me that I'm not always the bad person. And I also, that situation needed to remind me that how strong I am. So with every situation, with everything I do in life, I know how strong I am. I know what pain I've experienced. I know what I can handle now. And if it's nothing close to me losing my mom, definitely I'll handle it. Being positive and always looking for solutions instead of dwelling too much on what's going wrong is how you should go through life. It makes life not much easier, but livable. So thank you for watching. I hope this video touches somebody. I hope this video touches somebody and reminds them of their strength, reminds them of how worthy they are to be alive, to be loved, because you've had someone that loved you from the very beginning when you came on this earth to the very last breath that they took. Because I always remind myself, not every person is gonna love me and like me, but there was someone that loved me from the time I came to this world to the very last of her breath. She loved me still, and I still believe that she loves me beyond death itself. Because if that love died, it couldn't have died with her. Remember, it was only her body that left. His soul is still alive. So I feel like, I don't know if that makes sense, but I feel like she loves me beyond death itself. That's the most powerful thing. And I should also love myself. If somebody can love me beyond death itself, then I should also love myself. And if somebody can love me, bye boo, bye boo. And you should also wonder why somebody loved you so much. What do they see in you to love you? Because there's a lot of people that have children but they let them go. There's a lot of people that have partners but let them go. Why is it that this person loved you and took care of you till their deathbed? Till their deathbed. This was one of the most difficult videos that I had to do, but I had to do it eventually. And because her birthday is coming up this week on Thursday, I had to gather myself together and do it. So hope this video touches somebody, and remember to pray, remember to love yourself, remember you are worthy, remember that you are strong, remember that you can overcome, remember that your problems are not bigger than you, are bigger than your problems. You can overcome everything and everything. Even with the pandemic, you can overcome this whole thing. You're gonna survive this. So hope you enjoyed the video.